Trump and his new income tax law. Basically, he's going to remove the IRS, be called ERS. So instead of Internal Revenue Services, External Revenue Services. American people, you no longer have to pay income tax. So let's say you work minimum wage. Let's say $10 an hour, right? So $10 an hour, let's say you're making $400 a week. Let's just say $400 a week. So in a month, that's what? $1,600. You get to keep that whole $1,600.
No more IRS, no more Internal Revenue Services. Donald just announced that on January 20th, 2025 will be the birth date of the External Revenue Service. What does that mean? He's gonna, through tariffs, get enough money to come into the country where we as Americans no longer have to foot the bill, where we pay with our payroll taxes and then they just give all the money away to other countries. It's the birth date. Do you understand that? No more internal. It's now called External Revenue Services.
If you're used to getting income tax refunds every year, getting a couple $1,000s, you might want to enjoy it this year because it might not be around too much longer. A lot of low-income families depend on and rely on that income tax refund every single year. So a single mom with maybe 2 kids may get $5,000, $8,000. Some people even get 10. This new ERS system, you may not be able to get that any longer unless a new system comes and replaces it. Them taking away the income taxes, then there's going to be no income tax to refund you because the refund is only on the money that you gave to or it got taken out of your check that was overpaid. So they're giving you that money back. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. So now more than ever is the time to really be taking our finances seriously. We need to be increasing our income. We need to be eliminating as much debt as possible, decreasing or eliminating expenses that we don't necessarily need. We need to be saving to invest. Set you a target amount to save. Once that amount is accomplished, take that same money and start investing it. Put your money into something that'll make you more money that don't require your time, your physical presence, or your energy. I'm not saying none of this to scare y'all. I'm just trying to educate and put, that information out there because like I said, a lot of low income families depend on that money every year around February, March. They get that big lump sum of money, but we have to be very strategic with it this year. We can't just go and blow it. And by April, by May, we back at square one, living paycheck to paycheck.
Told y'all what was going to happen. January 20th, Trump's going to do away with the IRS. And you say, well, what is he going to do? External Revenue Service. The External Revenue Service is where all of America's goods that are exported out of the United States will now be taxed, like every other country does to us. See, if y'all didn't know what other countries, how they work, is all of their law enforcement, military, roads, schools, whatever, the government is paid based off of tariffs. Every time we buy something from China, from whoever, they tax the hell out of us, and that goes towards their country. However, right now, when people buy from the United States, it's tax-free. That's why we get taxed. And just like Trump said, there's no reason to tax an income, then go out and buy something and tax it again. Therefore, there will still be taxes when you go out and buy goods. However, there will not be an income tax. Income tax is obsolete now, starting January 20th, and the House agrees. The Senate is going to sign it. They agree. The whole world agrees. It's how every other country does this shit. So the ERS will now replace the IRS. Our pay is going to go up 30 to 40%, which is absolutely unbelievable. And when Trump was talking about doing this, people were saying, oh, he's a liar. They've already agreed to pass the bill. The ERS, External Revenue Service. All of everything that our IRS pays for now from us will now come from other countries. The External Revenue Service. No more IRS.
Trump passes insane new child support law. Patriots, if you don't know about this, Trump passed a new law that whoever is paying the child support will get to declare those children on their taxes, okay? So say you're a single father, single mother, and you are not the one paying the child support. You will not get the tax return for your child. How do you guys feel about that? This is all allegedly, I guess. We got to see till everything goes through. But this is the talk on the town that Trump is talking about making. And you know what this means, guys. Single mothers, I'm talking to you out there. This one is going to be directed at you. Okay? Most single mothers, we know women run the world. Women are running it. Especially single moms. Shout out to all my single moms. They work so hard. They're working 2 jobs. They're taking their kids to the soccer practices. They're buying the clothes. They're keeping their kids happy, keeping Christmas on the table. Even though there's a lot of selfish husbands out there who are not paying child support, barely paying child support, or okay, they are paying child support, but now they get to file your kids on their tax return because of that. Is that fair to you guys? I don't think so. Let me know in the comments. Secret Service Sam out. Samson for president of TikTok.
This is you before and after they've abolished income tax. First, let's start with Larry, how he is now, paying a bunch of taxes. And Larry currently makes $90,000 a year. Not too bad, Larry, which could allow him to afford a $500,000 house. So with everything, Larry's payment comes out to about $3,002 a month. Not too bad, but we can do better. Now let's move over here to Larry without income taxes. He's much happier, as you can see, and experts say it is going to be about a 33% increase in wages after everything's considered. So he's making about $120,000 in his pocket. So now you might be wondering, what can he afford? Well, when the economy takes off and rates come down and his extra income, $750,000 is the new home price that he can afford, bringing his new payment to $4,045 a month. Making the difference between these two payments, which means he has paying extra $1,043 per month, but he's bringing in an extra $30,000 in his pocket every year. So that minus 12 payments of $143, that brings out to an extra $17,484 per year. Now what does that get you? Let's recap. Larry's now making an extra $30,000 a year in his pocket, and look, he can now afford a hat and some clothes, and happy man. Larry can now afford a bigger house and be able to provide for his new growing family. Look at him, look how happy he is. And if Larry puts that extra $17,000 into the stock market every year and gets an average 10% return, he's going to have $3 million in 30 years. Larry is a rich man. Follow for more.
I told you guys this was going to happen. As of January 20th, Donald Trump is going to get rid of the IRS. And he's going to be replacing it with the External Revenue Services, the ERS. And essentially, if people don't know, other countries right now are taxing us for any exports that we do to other countries. So if you sell anything from the US, right, out, if we buy anything from inside, right, we get taxed on everything basically. But now what we're going to do is if China or anybody else is actually wanting road material, wanting phones from us, wanting salt shakers, wanting any kind of like glass material or glasses, there will be a tax on top of that. And the good part of this is that all we're doing is just replicating what other countries are already doing to us. Not only that, this actually offloads a lot of the taxes that we already grab, or that the government essentially grabs from us from our income, right? Which goes into another thing, which, now that Donald Trump is in office, he looks like he is going to be getting rid of income tax, or at least significantly dropping it down to where it's at right now. So right now we're getting taxed, let's say 30% on our, regular income, right? If I'm making, $1,000 a month, right? I'm getting taxed $300-400 every single month, right? Just on income tax. Now, instead of actually doing any kind of income tax, you get that full thing up front, right? So I'll be transparent. I am a developer. I make anywhere between $10,000 to like $12,000 every single month just on my regular income. Right now, every single month, I get taxed anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000 just on my regular income source. All that money, that extra 3 to 4 grand, I'm keeping. So, I no longer have to pay income tax. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But as of right now, right, it seems like I will, essentially be cashing in on what I'm supposed to be getting paid for doing my services, right? Which is that 10 to 12 grand every single month. And it's going to be the same for anybody, whether you're working at a Walmart, McDonald's, whether you're an engineer somewhere, whether you're whether you have to work at HR, whether you're working in like the government, whether you're working in like for the city or a police officer. We are no longer going to have to pay income tax, or at least a significant portion of your income. So right now, if you're making $2,000 every paycheck, $4,000 every month, you're looking at paying somewhere around maybe $600 to $700 of income tax. That essentially just goes away. Now, if you're getting told every single month you're going to pay $5,000, we're going to give you $5,000. You're taking home that $5,000. And this is actually extremely significant because this allows a lot of people to, I don't want to say necessarily live above their means, but definitely lets them, have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to buying food, maybe a home, maybe buying cars. So it definitely gives a lot of money back into the actual ecosystem of the markets, right? So economically, everything should grow, quote unquote, by an extra 30% as soon as this income tax goes away. Because now you're not giving that straight to the government. Now it's going back into the people, small businesses, big businesses, retail stores, clothing, whatever you can think of. But anyway, that's news for today. I'll see you guys later. I have today off, so I'll probably just make a bunch of random videos like this, like for news and breaking down what's happening with like stocks or any kind of news in the government, things like that. I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen.